Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, this is Tiff and welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. Recently, it was actually the last episode, I was interviewed on the Meet the Max podcast show with Fief Macranda. And Fief interviewed me about my book. So if you haven't heard that, make sure you listen to that. That episode, I put a recording in. It's called Let's Get Focused. But actually what prompted me to record this episode for you today was a question that Fief asked me in that interview. And it was all about, for those people, those athletes that are out there training away, but they've got nothing to work towards because of the epidemic of what we're going through with regards to COVID-19 throughout the world and so on. It's different here in Australia, but over in Europe and so on, where in America, UK, where you're experiencing much higher levels of COVID, she said, what are some things that you could do to help those people that are training and athletes but haven't got anything to work towards? Like, how do you maintain that motivation and focus? So that's what actually prompted me to record this episode for you today, was really to help you prepare for competitions or tournaments, fights or races, whatever your sport is, when things are just so uncertain for you at this current time that we're still living in. So here in Australia, we say that we are the lucky country. And we've been saying that for years because we know that we are the lucky country. We're very lucky to be where we are. We're very lucky to live where we live. But also with the epidemic of COVID-19 and what the rest of the world was actually experiencing and what they're actually going through right now, we know that we're very lucky because we have very few cases of COVID. We've been very few deaths. We've been able to survive and thrive through this. We're doing really, really well. So what's happening in here for us, because we are living in the lucky country, sport here is back to normal. We're competing again. There are tournaments and competitions, races, fights, everything that you can possibly think of with regards to sport is being held. Athletes can train for upcoming events, and it's very localized here, but that is a possibility. I know that there are some professional sports being played throughout the world, like tennis, golf, basketball, and so on, football. But it's about being really careful and being mindful of actually what you need to do. But the question then becomes is like, well, that's great, but I'm still in a situation, Tiff, where I don't have anything to look forward to. We're not there yet. We're not in a position where we are going to compete. We don't know when the next tournament or race or competition is going to be. And so what do I do if I'm still in part lockdown? I've still got these restrictions placed upon us because of where we live. There's no sign of being able to compete again because there's no planned events or anything like that. So that's what you may be saying to me and thinking as I'm talking to you through this, even though I'm saying, how lucky we are in Australia. Well, the thing is what we want to be able to do is help you with that motivation, because you may be thinking like, well, what am I training for? I'm not as motivated as I was. I don't have anything to work towards. So what's the point? And like anything that we do, we always get really motivated to train, usually by something that we're looking forward to, like something like a tournament or a competition event of some description. That's what we're working towards, because we're about competing. And that's how we get moving and motivated and excited, isn't it? That's what actually happens for us. And I look at that as like, it's almost like the same in the sense of, it's just like going on a holiday, or you may say vacation. We say holiday here in Australia. Or you going to a party, or you're going to a function of some description. You've got something to look forward to. You've got something to be excited about. And that's what we need. We need to be excited about something. We need to be looking forward to something, especially when we're still in a time where things are more uncertain. So even with travel, we're very uncertain. We're not traveling overseas. No one's traveling overseas. We can travel within the country in which we live, but the opportunity of going overseas is still very uncertain. The thing, though, that I'm really excited about, that one day, and this is what I'm planning for, one day I'll get to go to the British Columbia area again in Canada, get to go to the islands of Hawaii, get to go to America in the future, so I can go and play golf and have a great time and have a great holiday. I'm working towards that happening, so I'm just focused on saving my money towards that. So we have a holiday account. We've got our own separate holiday account that we've set up. So we put a percentage of our income into that, so that we're putting money aside, so that in one day that we've got something to look forward to. We know one day we'll get to travel again overseas. When we can travel safely, we're prepared, right? So this is what we're going to be focused on for you today in this episode. I want you to start thinking about what have you got to look forward to, because one day you're going to be competing again. One day things are going to feel like it's almost back to normal again. One day you're going to be able to look forward to actually compete in an upcoming event. All right, that's going to happen. So we need to make sure that we can still see that at some point that's going to happen. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing three things. Number one's get prepared. Number two's be prepared. And number three, we've got something to look forward to. Okay, and I'm going to show you a way in which you can do that to keep you motivated to continue to train. So how we're going to look at this is we're going to start with the end in mind. So this is to create some creativity on your part. And you can do this. It's good to be creative. Try something a little bit different. And if you think about last year, 2020 taught us anything. It taught us how to learn to adapt to changes. It taught us how to be prepared for unknowns and be prepared for that as best we can. And it did teach us how to be creative, because if you remember, and you may be still going through this, you have to be very creative with your training. The gym area in which where you train still may not be open yet. So you have to be incredibly creative in that. So if we start with the end in mind here, the first thing that we want to start for is we want to look forward to something, right? That upcoming tournament, that upcoming competition. So what I'm going to suggest to you here is called the Me tournament. And what that is to plan your own tournament. Give yourself something to look forward to. Now, this Me tournament that you put together, it could be a skills challenge. It could be some kind of pressure situation of a skill that you want to put yourself through. It could be a time trial of some description. Something that will push you, but it's something that you will be looking forward to. Okay, and if you set up, I've got this Me tournament I've set up for, this is what I'm going to do towards it, this is what I've got to train towards, then it's going to give you some sort of motivation to get out there and do it. And the great thing is that you'll have some skills that you'll be focused on. You'll be motivated to train. You'll be setting off that creativity part of your brain, which we all have that. So you have that too. Don't think that because you're just an athlete working towards a particular sport stops you from being creative. This is where you want to be really, really creative. The thing too you want to do here in this looking forward to something, you want to set a date of the tournament, of your me tournament. I want you to be very specific on what that competition will be for you. And like I said before, I want you to be creative about this. So you may even be able to do this with a couple of people or a few people, but just make sure it's COVID safe. If you can't, do something for yourself. It could be some sort of skills test or whatever it will be. Create something for yourself, okay? So that you got something to work towards. Number 2, be prepared. So now that you know what the tournament or what we call the me tournament you've planned is, how are you going to prepare for it? So what are the things that you need to be prepared for? So what skills will you be focused on? What pressure situation or pressure simulations will you do? What is the time trial that you're going to challenge yourself with? Be really creative. It could be a whole day event. It could be a 1-hour event. It's up to you how you want to create it. But start looking at how you can put something together so you're being prepared for this type of event that you're planning for. Outline what the skills will be. Just be really specific on what you need to be prepared for. Then number 3, what areas of your sport do you need to focus on to compete in your me tournament? So what I want you to be thinking about here is be creative. Create a flyer with the date and the time. Give your me tournament an event name. Share it with people that will be doing this. Now it will keep you accountable. Send it to me. Share with me what you're planning on doing. Send it to tiff@tiffany-mika.com. I'd love to hear from you, or share it on my Instagram page or my Facebook page. I really love to hear from you what that is. Be prepared for it, right? Do all the training on the day, perform, score yourself on however you decide how you want to do it. You may decide to do a series of these types of me tournaments. And once you've competed on the day of your me tournament, reward yourself with something special. So you've got to look forward to doing something, competing something, but you've also want to reward yourself for making the effort. Okay? That's how we're going to give you something to look forward to. So those 3 steps that you're going to be focused on is 1, creating your me tournament, 2, being prepared for it, and 3, getting prepared for it. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard. And I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Have an absolutely awesome day. Take care. Talk soon.